Hi and welcome. My name is Leslie Gleaves. I am a museum educator and an artist, and this year I'm a guest teacher for Art Grows Rexburg. I'm excited to be here with you today. We have a fun project in store. We are going to be learning and making cyanotypes or sun prints. Some of the things we will be doing today are learning the history and the process of a cyanotype. And then we will go on a scavenger hunt around our house and our yard to find objects so that we can create our own cyanotypes. The materials we will need for today are included in the kit that you received. There should be 4 pieces of cyanotype paper that have been pre-coated, a picture frame, some office clips, and then some things that you'll need from around your house are your sink, a plastic container that's just bigger than the paper that we have. If you don't have that, that's okay. And then you'll also need a towel or a couple of paper towels so that after we rinse our cyanotypes, they can have a place to dry. And the last material that we'll need today is the sun. If you don't have a sunny day today, you might want to do this project on another day where there is sun. Cyanotypes can be done on partly cloudy or cloudy days. They will just take a lot longer. So what is a cyanotype? A cyanotype is a photographic printing process that produces a cyan blue print. This blue color is sometimes called Prussian blue. This process was invented by Sir John Herschel in 1842, making it one of the very earliest photographic processes. This was also known as the blueprint process, and engineers used this well into the 20th century. The process uses 2 chemicals, ferric ammonium citrate and potassium ferricyanide. When these 2 chemicals are mixed together, they create a light-sensitive solution that can be applied on many different types of surfaces in order to capture an image. The process we are going to be using today to capture an image is called a photogram. A photogram is a photograph that's made without a camera. It's when objects are placed directly onto the surface of light-sensitive paper and then exposed to light. They show negative shadows or the parts of the paper where the light doesn't hit. The process to create a cyanotype is a fairly simple one. There are 2 different ways you can do it. The first way is the hand-coated method, where you obtain the chemicals yourself, mix them, and apply them to a paper or surface of your choice. The second version is the pre-coated version, which is what we will be using today. The chemicals have already been applied and have dried, and they are ready to go. We can then put our objects directly onto the paper, expose it to UV light, which is the sun, then we'll remove the objects, wash the image in water to develop it, and then hang it or lay it to dry. You'll notice that the blues will get darker the longer that it dries. Let's look at a couple of different artists that use the cyanotype method. The first is Anna Atkins. Anna was born in 1799 and died in 1871. She was an English botanist and a photographer. She's often considered the first person to publish a book with photographic images. Some sources claim that she is the first woman to create a photograph, the first woman photographer. Here are a couple of different examples of cyanotypes from Anna's book called Photographs of British Algae, Cyanotype Impressions. You'll notice that she's taken a couple of different types of algae and created cyanotypes out of them. She's been able to capture the details and the shapes of those algae and documented them for people to see. Let's take a look at a couple of more recent artists who have used the cyanotype process. This is Robert Rauschenberg and Susan Whale. They created these cyanotypes in the 1950s. You can do a little bit more research on them if you Google them and look up their works online. You'll notice in these cyanotypes they actually created the solution and brushed them onto large pieces of fabric. They then used their hands and feet and lots of different types of flowers and foliage to create their cyanotypes. Now that we have learned about cyanotypes and seen some examples from different artists, let's pause the video for a minute and take a scavenger hunt around our house and our yard to find different objects that we can use to create our own cyanotypes. These can be any type of objects that you can find. Be creative and get as many as you can. That way you have a lot of options to choose from when you're deciding how to put your cyanotype together. Welcome back. I hope you had fun going on your little scavenger hunt around your home and yard for supplies for your projects. I did the same. You'll notice I found some leaves and some flowers from outside, bubble wrap, yarn and string, some coins, paper cutouts, sticker letters, some regular copy paper. So I think we can make some fun compositions combining these objects. What we'll need to do first is get our picture frame from our kit. Should be about an 8x10 size. Mine might look a little bit different from yours, that's just fine. We just want it to be a little bit bigger than the paper that we're working with. So our paper for our cyanotypes are 5x7, and this is an 8x10. So you'll just flip that over, and you'll kind of undo these spots on the back right here to open it up. Mine opens like a book. If your back comes off, that's just great too. We want to remove what's inside of the frame. Mine has a cardboard piece that we'll be working with today, as well as the paper that comes with the frame. We won't need that. And the mat we'll save for later. And then we'll go ahead and remove the glass very carefully. We'll also set that aside for later. And the frame we'll set aside. So we will bring the cardboard piece back. That is what we'll kind of use as the base to lay all of our objects on. And you'll notice the room I'm in is darkened. I don't have any lights on, but I do have a window across the room that is, the blinds are open to provide light so that I can see what I'm doing. It's important not to have your lights on or to be near the window so that your paper from your cyanotype won't be exposed too early. You should have received a black bag that has your paper in it. This bag is light proof and is what is helping to protect the paper that's inside since it's light sensitive. So we're going to open it right now and take one piece out. Since our room is darkened, we're ready to go. And we'll just put it right onto our cardboard piece. You'll notice that there's two sides, the white side and the blue side. We want to use the blue side. That's the side that has the chemicals on it for developing in the sun. So now that we have this ready to go, let's go ahead and kind of play with some of our supplies and see what we can create for a composition for our piece. Okay, once you have all of your supplies placed how you like it, this is where you're gonna grab the glass that comes from your frame and place it on top. And that's just gonna hold everything down. And I wanna kind of adjust this a little bit. And then also in your kit, you will have a couple of office clips. Very carefully, you're going to use these to hold the glass and the cardboard together. So you're just going to clip one on each end. And this just secures it so that if there's any kind of wind or breeze that comes up outside, that it won't blow all of your supplies away. Okay, now we are ready to take it outside in the sun. It's a nice sunny day today where I am, and that is exactly what you need for a fast cyanotype. This has been in the sun for about 3 minutes, and you'll just want to watch for the dark blue paper to change to this lighter color. It's almost a yellow color, so that you know that it's done. You don't want to leave it out in the sun too long. So let's go ahead and take it in and wash it. Okay, I have a Tupperware container in the bottom of my sink. You can use any bowl or pan that you have. Just put a little bit of water in there from your tap. And you're just gonna take the clips off of your frame and move the glass. Oh, you'll notice the eyes fell off when we did that. And just remove all of the stuff that you had on there. You can see where the sun has hit the paper, and the spots where we had our stuff are now blue, and that's because the sun wasn't able to hit that. So watch what happens when we put it into the water. You'll just want to put it in the water, kind of move it around. It helps sometimes just to let it sit in there and shake the container a little bit. You want to wash it for about 1 minute. It's been about 1 minute. We're just gonna take it out, let it drip. We're gonna lay it flat on some paper towels to dry. And here is the final piece. You can tell that as it dried, it got a lot darker. It's much more blue. And here are a few other cyanotypes that I did. Okay, it's been a couple of days and all of our cyanotypes are dry, and I put them inside of a book so that they could become a little more flat, because as they dry, you'll notice that they kind of curl up on the edges a little bit. So I have the glass that we used from our frame as well as the cardboard piece. So now we're going to put everything back together into our frame. So mine has a mat. Yours might look a little bit different. But I'm going to open up the back of my frame. And we're going to place the glass back in front first. And we're going to put our mat back on. And we'll place our cyanotype in the opening of the mat. You might need to use some tape. Painter's tape might be the best so that it doesn't rip the paper. But if you're not planning on moving it out of this frame, you can use any tape that you have available and just tape on the corners. I'm going to put the cardboard piece back in so it holds it together. And then we'll close the back and there we have it. We have our beautiful new work of art, our cyanotype, and it's nicely framed. Thank you so much for being here with me today and making this project. I had a lot of fun in the sun making cyanotypes with you. I encourage you to continue making cyanotypes and researching more artists and different styles and techniques. Have fun!